Hi, this is Linda from No Frills ASMR. I thought tonight we could talk about the phases of the moon. And my son and I were talking about a backpacking trip that we took to Dolly Sods, West Virginia. I guess it was August of the year before last. And we were talking about at night, you could see so many stars, like stars upon stars. It was so beautiful. And maybe someday I'll do a video on that backpacking trip because it's a good one. And I said, well, it must have been a new moon because we could see so many. And then we were talking about the phases of the moon, and the only phase I really know is the new moon or the full moon. So I did a little looking into it and thought we could talk about the phases of the moon. I'm not a I'm not NASA. I'm not an astronaut. No, astronomer. Oh, yeah, I think that's right. I'm not that, obviously. But I did look it up. So I don't know. I don't guarantee this will be completely correct. So if you're really curious, there's plenty of good videos on the phases of the moon that I didn't feel like watching, so I just looked it up. But I think it's kind of neat. Okay. So I started drawing them out like this, and I thought, well, maybe I'll finish them on camera because, I don't know, might be something kind of relaxing to watch. I'm not sure. I got this at an estate sale one time. It's pretty useful. Or maybe it was my father-in-law's because he drew designs for Ford. I don't remember really, but I use it quite a bit. Let's see, how many more phases do I need? 3 more. I'll make this one go a little further. One, two. 3. Okay, so we need one that's mostly light, like this. I think. I can't color in the lines, so I have to keep my thing on here. And then we need, I gotta try to cut this in half without screwing it up. I think it'll go. See, I still didn't get it in half. Maybe there. And then, did I do this one right? Yeah, I guess that's right. And then they'll be like this. I think that's good. Hopefully. Hopefully I don't finish it and then go, oh no. I used my good scissors while I was working today, so they're down in the studio. I don't have them. Okay. Am I missing something? No, I just have the wrong spot. Okay. All right, so let's first talk about, all right, let's pretend like this is the Earth. And the Earth is traveling this direction, and it's rotating. It's round, you guys. that's shocking, but it is. Okay, and then it's going this way. Yeah, and the moon is traveling around the Earth. So it's going around like this while the moon's going like this. And the Earth is orbiting the sun. So the Earth is going around the sun, and the moon's going around the Earth. And the Earth orbits the sun, goes all the way around every 365 days, so a year. And the moon orbits the Earth in 29 days, so about a month. Well, it's a month, but you know how. Okay. So 29 and a half days. So imagining you've got the sun. Look, I got props. My kitty cat's toys. And there's the Earth. And it's going around the sun. And then here's the moon. And it's going around the Earth. Okay. So, depending on where. So the sun is over here just shining all this light this direction. And the Earth and these two are going around it, right? So when the moon, depending on where it is how much light you're going to see. So if it's like this, then it's being blocked. It's blocking the sun's light. So that's when you have what's called a new moon. It's just black. And that's how I think it was when we were backpacking, because we could see a lot of stars. So it was probably a new moon or just a dark moon. So that is one of the phases. And during this time is the only time you might be able to see a lunar eclipse. If it hits it just right, then it'll block out the sun. Did I say that right? It's a solar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is the opposite. This would be the only time you'd see a full solar eclipse, is if it blocks it just right so that you can't see the sun, because the moon is just blocking it out. And I'm going to do a video on that, because I saw a full solar eclipse and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And there's one coming. Is it this April? I think it is. So if you can get somewhere and see it, do it. All right, so you get it though, right? So if it's here, you see, this much of the sun on it. So it depends on what angle. And then when it's over here, the Earth okay, yeah. So when it's here, sorry, I had to really think on that for a minute. The sun is hitting it, you see a full moon. But if it gets to a point where the Earth is blocking it, the sun from hitting the moon, that's when you get a lunar eclipse. Is that right? Now I'm questioning myself a little bit. That's right. This, you wouldn't see any light on it, because what you're seeing is a reflection of the sun. So when it's over here, it must be just above the Earth generally, or below it, or whatever. So you see it full sun. And then sometimes the Earth will block the sun, and that's when you have I think that's right. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this video, and then I'm going to have to look it up and make sure I'm not wrong. And then I'll just delete it if I am. If I'm not wrong. If I were just a little bit wrong. I think that's right. Okay. Let's see. This might confuse you more than clear it up for you. All right, so, oops, it's still, oh, my marbles are, I'm losing my marbles, you guys, hold on. I've lost my marbles. Okay. So, when you have it all black like that, that's when you look up, you don't even see the moon. That is called a new moon. And that's when it's just all dark like that. And then this moon, and this is what I had to look up because I couldn't remember. I knew they were like waxing and waning, but I couldn't remember, what was what. But when you have it like this, so there's just a tiny bit of white and it's just a little crescent. So it's like the one that the little boy from, it's not Pixar, it's the other one. Is it DreamWorks, where there's a little boy sitting on the crescent moon fishing on their start of their movies? Anyway, this is called a waxing. Boy, that's some handwriting going on there. Crescent. Is that how you spell crescent? Crescent. Crescent. I think that's right. Okay, and then you get where it's just like a half a moon. It's actually called a quarter moon because it's during the first quarter. But a lot of people call it a half moon because, you're only seeing half of it. But this is called a first quarter moon. And then, okay. So then it goes from having just a crescent of white to having almost not quite full, but it's getting more full of white, of sun, of reflection of the sun. That's why it looks kind of white. And that is called a waxing gibbous. Is that how you say that? Gibbous? I looked it up, but I didn't listen to it. Gibbous. I think that's Gibbous. Gibbous. So these are the phases before it gets to full. So it goes from almost pitch black, from black, like blacked out, to waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous. And waxing means growing. So during this time, it's growing to be almost to my favorite moon, full moon. So that's when you have a full moon. And then you're starting to get it some black on it, but it's still pretty much, it's still pretty much reflecting light, so it's pretty much white. And that's a waning. Oh, that looks like a lot of N's. I think that's right. Gibbous. A waning gibbous. And waning means shrinking. So as you go from a full moon back to a new moon, you're shrinking. So waning, okay? So then this moon, which is another half moon, but it's half going like the opposite way, like it's this way, that is called a 3/4 moon. Now I can't remember because it's called first quarter moon. Is this? Okay. You may have to look that up if you really want to quote me or quote, because I don't remember now. If there was should it be a second? No. Why would it be called first quarter moon? And anyway, whatever. They're not, you just call those half moons. Nobody is. Okay. So this is a waning crescent. I keep thinking I'm spelling that wrong, but I think it's right. So the crescents are the little tiny ones right before. This one's right before the new moon, and this one's right after the new moon. And then the full moon is when all the light's on the moon. So that's when you have the gibbous moons. They're more full, but not quite full. You know what I'm saying? So these are the phases of the moon. And during a new moon, Yeah, that's the one where I'm looking for my guys. A new moon's when the moon is kind of more towards the sun. So you're not seeing the reflection of the sun on it. And that is when you can see a solar eclipse if it happens that it all lines up. And then a full moon is when this is the part I'm getting confused about though, when it's over here. So you're getting the full reflection of the sun. So I guess it's just pretty rare that it happens to line up where the earth would block it. And if it does, then that's a lunar eclipse. Because it's full here and then. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. What else do we have to say about this? Now, I know, because I'm a child of the 80s, 70s and 80s, but this is from the 80s, that there's a thing called a blue moon. And on a blue moon, a baby Smurf is born. And a blue moon, I believe, and I did not look this up, is when there are 2 full moons in the same month. So it happens like once, I don't know, every 3 years or something, that the way that timing works out, you end up with 2 full moons within a month. And that's called a blue moon, I think. And then, of course, there's harvest moons, and I don't know anything about those really. Oh, I know one thing I was thinking about is that because the moon is going around the earth and they're spinning. So if there is a full moon or a waning gibbous or whatever, everybody in the entire earth sees the moon the same way at different times, of course, because times are different, but they'll all see a full moon at the same time, which I know is obvious, but it's kind of sweet. It's kind of like, it's like that Linda Ronstadt song with Fievel the Mouse. Wait, is that the one it is? Is it Somewhere in Time? Somewhere Out There. And she sings about like looking up and seeing the stars, and it's the same stars. I used to love that song. Anyway, if you don't know that song, look it up. It's very sweet. I think it's called Somewhere Out There. And Linda Ronstadt sings it. But I think it's from a movie with a little cartoon mouse. Anyway, okay. I can't think anything else about this. Feel free to comment if you have any cool moon stories. Oh, I know I'm not like a person who like recharges crystals in the moon, or I'm just not woo-woo like that. Woo-woo? That's the word I'm looking for, woo-woo. But I did have a girlfriend who used to say on the night of a full moon, you have to run out with your purse, and you open your purse and you scream to the moon, fill it up, fill it up. And then you'll like get money that month. And ever since I heard that, anytime I happen to catch that there's a full moon, I go running with my purse. Because I think one time it actually kind of worked, and I was like, okay, I am sold. I will always run and scream, fill it up, fill it up. So, fill it up. Hey guys. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I know that was a little chaotic and I don't know. But hopefully you enjoyed it. All right.